Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel, where we create visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decision for your application. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, so here we have this residential application. This is going to be a new addition to their outdoor patio. And let's go ahead and look at the overall dimensions first. And we have here some overall dimensions. So from center post to center post over here, I have 47 feet 11 inches. And then I have a depth total from the ceiling height over here of 12.6 to the outside edge here. You can see that the slope here is roughly 1 to 1.5 inches. Excuse me, 1 foot to 1.5 inches. And we have a height right here at the lower edge of this post here at 8'3", and over here at the edge of these, I understand these to be false beams, but I have them at 10 foot off the finished floor roughly. I'd put the door here about 7 foot 6 inches off the floor, and let's see if there's anything else that we want to talk about. There is a door. I'm going to assume that the door swings inwards. That is important as far as one of the suggestions that we were making. So just bear that in mind. If these doors swing out, then we will have to remove one of the heaters that we suggest. Also, there's a sliding door here that I think is like 4 sections that slide all the way to the right, so that's not going to be an issue over here. I don't know anything about any lighting or fixtures here, but again, speaking of these beams here, it talks about them being false beams. If they're combustible, we have to deal with that as far as keeping clearances from that. And so just bear that in mind. There might be a fan in here, something of that nature, and if there is, then we will have to also work around that as well. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this off, and we'll go ahead and this is going to be my first preferred suggestion based on where this property is at. This property is up on a hillside, and so I'm assuming that there is some wind that comes up here, and so this would be on the right side over here would be the exposed side of the patio, and when the wind moves through here, that's where the cold air is coming. It's going to hit the structure itself and then, you know, scoot around the building right, left and right like that. So again, exposed side. So I will recommend the first way is to place some Infratech over here. Now, they did talk about not impeding the view, and as you can see here, it's not really impeding the view much, but there is a small section, maybe 3 inches of blockage of the view that you might have. But the reason they are like this, and I should also mention this beam I have here is at 12 inches, and the false beams I have here, I believe they're at 6 inches. So we have that, yeah, just about 6 inches there. So, but if we need to make sure that we are meeting clearances here, then we have to place this just at the bottom edge of this in order to meet the clearances to combustibles here. So the clearances on top is 6 inches from this edge up. And then when you mount the heater on a vertical surface and change the angle at 30 degrees, then the bracket length is sufficient enough to maintain the clearances from back here, because what it's really doing is keeping the footprint of heat or the ray from penetrating any wall surface is what it's focused on. There's no wall here, and we're meeting the 30-degree tilt from that. So these are slimline 4,000 watt units. They are relatively, I would say, almost perfect for this elevation. So I don't think you'll need a control system, but you could easily put a control system on that, and you'll be able to dim the heaters from 100% on to 1% on, however you see fit, based on the season and the environment. So let me go ahead and turn off the clearances here. Now, what I do want to mention though is this would be the hotter section, as well as with the table arranged like this would block those light rays coming through the table, so your feet on the left hand side and legs won't feel that heat, your upper body, but your head will probably be up in this area here, so you won't get the most preferred amount of heat on this left side here if the seating is actually in this type of orientation. What I did here is placed 2 units 10 foot center to center, and from center of these beams, so this would be your left beam, right beam here, and if I took a line, put it between this, I would center the heaters 5 foot from the center of that line itself. So what you're going to get out of that though is that and I did the same thing over here, I should mention first, and then I would say that you're going to miss this inner edge right here, so you're probably like 3 to 4 feet of unheated space right here. So if that is an issue, then we could, push these 2 to the left here and these 2 to the right and add an additional one, so that you can heat up the whole entire space. So you would have 5 with this being the center, and then 10 foot center to the next, 10 foot center to the next, and that would heat up the whole entire space here. However, bear in mind that back here is the coolest space of them all. So that's one option, and I was looking at having an option of placing the heaters so that it would go perpendicular to the resident itself here. I just don't see that working very well. It would definitely be a hinder visually. So I'm gonna either give you this option here or come up with the option of placing a little bit hotter units on the reverse side. If I can find those, here we go here. Let's try. Hold on one second here. All right, so I called it something different than I normally do, but it would be to place units up along the wall. Now these are CD 6024, so these are 6,000 watt. The other ones were 4,000 watt. They're almost at the same elevation if you really think about it. The elevation isn't much different. However, they're hotter units, and you don't have that visual aspect from inside the resident itself. So these are again in the same position, so from post to post, center, and then from center to center of heaters 5 feet, and then 5 feet to the other side there, or 10 foot center to center on the heater. So there still is that mist area between. It's not as wide because this is a little bit wider of a footprint of heat. However, we do need to maintain clearances different on a CD 6,000 watt unit than the slimline unit, because we need to have 12 inches from the top of the heater to any type of combustibles, and I'm counting these beams as being combustibles right now. So just bear that in mind. That is required, and so that's going to be your footprint of heat. Now again, this would be the most heated side of the patio. And I should mention these are on the wall and at 30-degree tilt, and so this will be the most heated area of the wall, or of the space, and this will be a little bit least. And again, the penetration of the ray into the table will absorb all that heat, so the only portion of your body that's going to feel it is your upper portion over here on the right side here. On this side here, if this is the type of reclining space that you're going to be utilizing, or even if it's something different, I think this is going to be a little bit, it's more open as far as the exposure to the ray. So I think this is going to be an excellent type of application over here. And again, I'm really looking at keeping the visual aspect down as much as possible, and that's why I'm making this suggestion. Highly recommend more so the heaters on the right side than I do on the left, like this right now. But another thing I should mention, these are dual element heaters, so you can get a duplex switch and turn one element on, one element off. That'll give you 50% power, 100% power, or you can go with a whole control system where you can dim it again from 1% on to 100% on. All right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve, and please tap that like button. We don't advertise, we're not monetized. YouTube does not promote our channel in any way unless we receive a thumbs up from our viewers, and that is typically the way that others can find us, and probably the way you found us as well. So I really appreciate you doing that. Thank you. Have an excellent day.